Hello everybody, it's Shayna with Repurposing, and I'm excited for today's video because today's video is a part of a What Would You Do Dollar Tree challenge where we had to go to Dollar Tree and find something from the kitchen section, something from the auto and hardware section, and then something from the glassware section. So my first section, kitchen, I got these plates, and I thought these were so cute because they had the little beads on them, like the little beaded parts. And I just felt like those would look really cute, painted up and kind of distressed, and then they would look really cute for this tiered tray that I'm about to make. So the first thing I did, obviously, was clean these off really good because they were dirty. And then I took my white cotton Dixie Belle paint and I did 2 coats. I think I might have did 3 on the green plate because it took more coverage, but the bigger silver plate, it didn't take as much coverage. So 2 coats on it. And then I sped up this process so you wouldn't have to watch the boring part of paint drying basically. But anyway, and then you can see how I distress it here in a minute. And as I mentioned, today's video is part of a challenge, and there will be a playlist for all these other girls that are included in this. And the playlist link will be in my description box, and you can watch and see what all these other girls did with their Dollar Tree items from the same sections. They get different items, but we all had to get them from the same section. Okay, and then I took the color Toasted Marshmallow. It's just a acrylic paint, and I kind of dry brushed it onto this plate because I didn't like how stark white that cotton was for this look. I was going for a rustic, I wanted it to look kind of rustic, kind of like old wood type of vibe, you know. So anyway, I did that with that color, the Toasted Marshmallow, and I kind of just blended it back in with some white, you know, just back and forth until I liked it. Okay, and then this is Van Dyke Brown Glaze Dixie Belle brand, and I just took it in a Dollar Tree brush and just really lightly dry brushed it around the edges, kind of wiped it off, back and forth, like I said, till I just got the look that I was going for and had enough distressing on it to my liking. And as you can see there, I took a little bit of black also and kind of went around just mostly the edges. But once my paintbrush was almost empty of that, I kind of dry brushed it across through the middle and on those beads because I really wanted those beaded parts to stand out. Okay, and then I just repeated the same process on the bottom plate. And on this one, I got it on a little too thick in some spots, but you'll see that I went back through with my white and just kind of, you know, kept blending it in and dry brushing it back and forth until I got it how I liked it, like I said. When distressing this type of stuff, I feel like you just always have to bear with the process and kind of just keep doing it until you get it how you like it. Because, you know, sometimes it goes on too thick and all that, but you just do it until you like it. And the biggest thing, I get asked all the time, you know, how do I do it or whatever. The biggest thing is just not to be worried about it, I think. Just don't be scared, because you can always paint back over it. If you absolutely hate it, you can put white back over it and then keep it plain white if you want. So I just go for it, especially on a Dollar Tree item like this. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then for this tiered tray, I found this candlestick at a thrift store for $1. Yeah, $1. And I decided I liked it better than those glass ones that you can find at Dollar Tree. But you could definitely use one of those from Dollar Tree if you wanted to remake this same tray. But I thought this one would be perfect. So I just painted it up with a similar technique as I did for the plates. And I used some sandpaper to distress this since it was wood. So anyway, same process. Okay, and then I took a bowl, which was also from the kitchen section in my Dollar Tree, and I painted just the bottom half of it white, basically so I could get the distressing paint to stick to it, the black and the brown to stick to it. That's basically the only reason why I painted the bottom. Because the black I'm using is an acrylic paint, and then that brown I'm using is a glaze. So neither of those are going to stick to this glossy plastic bowl. So if you put chalk paint on it first, it will stick a lot better to that. I'm sure most of you probably know that though. Okay, and then I just flipped this bowl over and used a ton of hot glue around that little rim. I got to thinking after this that I could have put like a little piece of wood right there, like little Dollar Tree square wood. And that probably would have been a really good idea, but anyway, it still holds up fine. And I just set that on there and hold it real tight for a few minutes. Press it on there. I got it as centered as I could without measuring. And if you wanted this to have like a permanent hold, you should probably use E6000 or some other kind of like a super glue. But I didn't care if this, well, the bottom part I don't want to ever take apart really. But the top part here where I use my spindle, I didn't want it to be permanent because I was like, well, what if I want to use that spindle for something else someday, since it's a nice little wood spindle. So I did not use E6000 or any other glue like that. But you definitely should if you want it to stick and be permanent like forever. Okay, and then here on this bottom piece, I did measure because I wanted this to be pretty center because I wanted it to be steady. And I just took my hot glue and put like a tiny little dab in the middle where I knew I needed to like surround, you know, put the candlestick around that. So, yep, that's how I did that. Okay, and then moving on to the glassware, my glassware item. But before I show you guys the rest of my items, I wanted to tell you guys that today's video is part of a playlist. So along with the challenge, there is a playlist full of other girls doing the same thing. We all had to get items from the same sections. So you can check out that playlist to see what everybody came up with. So in the glass section, I'm going to say I didn't get super creative. I just got this little jar here, and I wanted it because I was going to use this tiered tray in my bathroom. That was my plan. So I used this little jar, and I just put pearls in it for fun for now. I'll probably end up like putting Q-tips in it or something for its actual purpose. But anyway, I took these rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree and just did the word bath. I feel like there's maybe a better word, but bath was all I could come up with at the moment that would fit on the jar. Okay, and then from the auto section, I took the jute that I found in there, and I went ahead and wrapped it around my jar. This is basic, you know, nothing new. We've all done this before. And then I just used a few dabs of hot glue to make it stick. And then I didn't love that jute by itself, so I decided to make a little bow with this lacy ribbon that I had on hand. So I whipped up a little lace bow, and then I also took a little piece of twine and tied it into a bow and then attached it onto the little front there. You'll see. And then that's all I did on that, and I think that turned out really cute with the two little bows like that. I think that was a really cute touch. Okay, and then just for another little decoration, this is not part of our challenge. I just wanted to make a few more little things for this tiered tray because I was going to style the tiered tray in this video and show you pictures of it. So anyway, I just took these little wood panel things from Dollar Tree, painted it white, and I had already had that little gray heart painted up from another project, so I went ahead and hot glued that on. I did let that dry though first, or I blow dried it in between, I'm not sure, but anyway, it was dry. Hot glued it on, made a couple little bows. This ribbon here is actually from burlapfabric.com, but it looks just like the Dollar Tree ribbon, so if you had some from Dollar Tree, you could use that as well. But yes, that's what that is. I did the same concept here as I did on the jar. Made a bow and then made another little twine bow to incorporate more of my twine. And like I said, that was from Burlap Fabric, and I showed their card here, but of course I showed it upside down. So anyway, but that's where it is, and I'll link them in the description box. And then I painted the back because like I said, this will be on my tiered tray, so you'll probably be able to see it from some angle. So I wanted the back to be painted, and I just take these little wood scrap pieces that I have on hand, and I hot glue them to the back of these so that it'll stand up. But you could definitely use like a Jenga block if you didn't have just like some scrap wood on hand. But yeah, so I finished painting the back of this, and here's a look at how it turned out. Just a cute little sign. Like I said, I do add the little jute rope to the bow as well to keep incorporating that ribbon or that jute into everything. Okay, and I had this little pink crate on hand that I had used for Valentine's Day to style on my tray. Well, I decided to just go back over the whole thing other than the side with hearts. I just went over the whole thing with white so it would blend in with this tray a little better. And I went ahead and painted the inside because, as you can see, when I used it before, I had the hearts like facing down, and I was just using this kind of as a riser, so I didn't worry about the inside. But this time I wanted to flip it over and use it to either put flowers in or to put like decor pieces in on my tray. Okay, so then I just took some of this lavender and got it ready for my tray. I just cut it into smaller pieces. Okay, and then here's a look at how the whole tray turned out and how I styled it in my bathroom. And yeah, this challenge has been really fun. So if you've come from somebody else's video, let me know and leave me a comment and all that fun stuff. But yeah, here it is. And I think it turned out super cute, super functional too, because the candlestick I use is a little taller than the Dollar Tree candlestick. So yeah, super functional and super cute. But thank you all so much for watching. And while you're here, be sure to check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the fun stuff that we do here. And last thing is, if you made it to the end of this video, please leave me a green heart emoji.